In this video, we're going to talk about 3 books with massive price differences between the 9.6 and a 9.8. And at the end, we're going to talk about some different philosophies and trains of thoughts about this, but most importantly, how to use this phenomenon to your advantage to have this hobby fund itself, because that's a big emphasis on this channel, is how to have this hobby fund itself. And there's opportunity everywhere that we'll discuss and get into in this video. So let's turn this around and hop into the computer and take a look at these 3 books. Happy to announce the winners for the October newsletter giveaway at BryceComics.com. Congratulations to RJ Minetto. You won the Ultimate Fallout 4 first appearance of Miles Morales. Congratulations to Comics Recovery. You won the Something is Killing the Children #1 first appearance of Erica Slaughter for the October YouTube giveaway. And congratulations to Rush. Rush, you are the winner of this awesome original art. Get a shot of that custom sketch right there. Batman Who Laughs #1, signed and sketch by Mike Mayhew, the Virgin Edition. This is the giveaway from the Karen's Pages collaboration, which, by the way, if you guys aren't subscribed to Karen's Pages, let's take 5 seconds to watch her unbox and appreciate some of the art. This is some of the content that you can expect from Karen's Pages.
Wow. Oh my gosh. This is so cool.
I don't know about you, but it's really awesome to see someone just appreciate art as much as she does and our hobby. So make sure you go subscribe to Karen's Pages. I'll put a link in the description to her YouTube channel. And thanks for participating in these giveaways. Start off the list here with a good one, and stay tuned to the end for the last one. Is the most impressive jump between a 9.6 and 9.8 that I've seen. But I want to hear from you guys. Leave a note down in the comments below some other books with some massive jumps in value between 9.6 and 9.8. I know there's a ton of these with opportunity out there, and if I get enough suggestions, maybe I'll do a follow-up video with a better, bigger list of books. This is G.I. Joe Real American Hero #21, and this is the first appearance of Storm Shadow, a former ally of Snake Eyes and the young master of the Arashikage clan. It's a solo story featuring Snake Eyes told without any text or dialogue, often referred to as the silent issue. So this is a fantastic book, highly collectible. And if we look at the difference between a 9.8, the last sale of 9.8 in August of 2023 was $1,824, $1,824. It saw a massive correction. Look, it was hitting highs of $5,000 back in the comic market boom, and it's kind of mellowed out here with some more consistent sales, the most recent of which being 1824. So, but if we look even lower, the 9.6 sale is $415 for a 9.6. So a massive jump there, $1,400 increase in value if you can bump it from a 9.6 to a 9.8, which is absolutely within the realm of possibility. Now, one thing you have to be careful of with all of the books on this list, and especially, Bronze Age or books with dark covers, is just the slightest defect will keep it from getting a 9.8. So you really have to get comfortable with knowing what color breaking defects withhold it from a 9.8. And in order to do that, you really have to familiarize yourself with experience, or you can pick up the new CGC Guide to Grading Comics and really study and know the difference. And eventually you'll get good at seeing one of these in a 9.6 and saying, oh yeah, this definitely isn't a candidate that has this little color breaking defect. There's no chance at a 9.8, and so on. Next on the list, we have Amazing Spider-Man #194, the first appearance of the Black Cat. This one doesn't have such a huge jump in price between 9.6 and 9.8, but I wanted to put this on here because I've had a lot of success with this book in the past. I've bumped them from 9.2s, I've bumped them from 9.4s, and I've increased the value and made a lot of money off of this book in particular. And it also just represents, a genre of books which is bronze or copper age books that have, a massive increase in value between 9.6 and 9.8. So if we look at the 9.8, the last sale is way down. $2,500 is the last sale. This book was hitting peaks of over $5,000 during the comic book market boom, which is not even relevant anymore. Should we even mention that? I digress. But if you look at the 9.6, $850 was the last sale. So a healthy jump, $850 to $2,500, almost $2,000 in values, which I guess is a massive jump. And as you go lower to the 9.4, $1,500, 9.2, $500. So if you can bump a 9.2, and here's the thing about this book is oftentimes there will be non-color breaking bends that give it result in a 9.2 that if you improve those bends would result in a 9.8. That happens a lot with bronze and copper age keys. So that's where you can see these massive jumps in values if you can find a non-color breaking 9.2. And sometimes you'll just see it. You'll see one, you'll be like, whoa, that's a 9.2, and there's the non-color breaking bend. You can bump it from a $510 book to a $2,500 book. Before we get to the last book, I want to remind you, we always do a monthly giveaway at brycecomics.com. I just added a bunch of new inventory, and if you use code COLLECT10, you can get 10% off all in-stock items, excluding big boy books like this Fantastic Four #2 and an 8.5 ultra rare and super high grade like that. I just added a Daredevil and an Avengers. It might be gone by the time you're watching this video because stuff does move pretty quick, but use code COLLECT10 for 10% off all in-stock items and sign up for the newsletter while you're here, and you're entered to win a free slab each and every month, and that's where you get notified when new inventory hits the site, new mystery boxes and things like that. We also do a giveaway on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe, comment, and like, you're entered to win a free slab every month just for staying subscribed to the YouTube channel, and every comment that you leave on a video is an entry into that giveaway. Last on the list, we have Aliens #1, the first appearance of aliens, xenomorphs in original stories. This book is like the ultimate difficult book to bump because look at that black cover, cheap paper quality from the late 80s. So definitely, be careful with this one. Don't put the rose-colored glasses on. If it has a color-breaking defect in the black area, that's it. That's all she wrote. But we need to look at these price differences here. $2,700 for a 9.8. And if you go down to the 9.6, it's $300 for a 9.6. Almost, what is that? $2,400 increase in value to bump from the 9.6 to the 9.8. And if we look at the census, we can begin to see why there's such a difference in price for this one. There's 80 9.8s compared to 1,255 total copies on the census. So this is a book that's just really difficult to get in 9.8, but it's not without possibility. There is the possibility of bumping it from a lower grade if you get one of those non-color breaking bends in this book. So first and foremost, if you're going to attempt doing this, I would recommend picking up this book right here, the CGC Guide to Grading Comics. I'm not affiliated with this book in any way. It's just been incredibly helpful to me. We've waited 20 years to get it, and finally CGC has put together all of this information, this 300-page book, and how they arrive at the grades they do for a myriad of different defects for books. And you can take a look in the back and see the difference between what it says for what's allowed in a 9.8 and what's allowed in a 9.6. I also have videos on this channel about allowable defects in a 9.8, which I'm thinking about redoing because I did that video before this book came out. And now that we have this book, I will likely redo that video. So make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell if you don't want to miss that video. But I want to talk a little bit about this idea because I know there's a lot of people watching this right now that think that this price difference between the 9.6 and 9.8 is ridiculous and that we need to close that price gap. And the thing is, I understand both sides of the argument, okay? I understand the concept and the idea that just because a book has this tiny, sometimes it is such a minute little defect that results in a 9.6, like, does that really justify a $2,500 increase in price, or sometimes way more than that for some of these rare books? And, at the end of the day, I don't know that there's anything you can do about this phenomenon. I think you risk being the angry old man yelling at the cloud. That does absolutely no good. It kind of is what it is. And it's not just the comic book hobby that this happens in. It happens in, the numismatic collecting field with coins and paper money. And I'm sure even with like jewelry, like if you have a minor difference in clarity, it exponentially increases the value of the stuff. I mean, this is just a human phenomenon that happens. And I think you would have a much better chance of success instead of trying to change the value difference between the 9.6 and the 9.8 if you change your value system. And what I mean by that is if you think it's ridiculous that a 9.8 costs $2,500 more than a 9.6 of a certain book, change your value system to say, I don't need to have a 9.8 of that. It's not worth it to me to spend an extra $2,500 to have that 9.8. And therefore, you have freed yourself from, having to have the best of the best. Now, and on the same token, I completely 100% understand if you're a collector that has to have the absolute best, if you have to have your collection be all 9/8, even if it's a ridiculous price. And, there's something to that whole philosophy. And knowing that even though there's just a tiny difference between a 9/8 and 9/6, it does make the 9/8 that much more rare, like we saw with the aliens, knowing that there's only 80 copies of that in a 9.8, that could add value to your collecting experience because you value that. So you can have a major impact on the value of your comic book collecting by changing your values, and you might have more success than changing the actual prices of comics. But the point of this video is not to argue for one camp or the other about the price difference between 9.6 and 9.8. The point of this video and what this channel has a heavy emphasis on is how to use these phenomena to your advantage to fund this hobby by itself. I know tons of people in this hobby that have made massive amounts of money bumping really expensive books from a 9.6 to a 9.8. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars, and all of their comic book purchases are funded by phenomenons like this. So that's why I'm doing this video, is to point it out, is use this to your advantage. This is something that's currently happening, and there's opportunity for you to get involved as well. With that said, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider hitting that like button, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to follow me over on Instagram for Trades for Grails and other fresh content over on Instagram. We also do usually a weekly live sale over on Whatnot. There's a link down in the description for $15 towards your first purchase on Whatnot. We're having a ton of fun over there, tons of giveaways. $1 starts on awesome slabs, and I hope to see you there. If you're watching this the day it comes out, we have one scheduled for tomorrow, so I hope to see you there. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.